Hello again, it is I, Derek from Tomcat Gas Training, and welcome to this short video on how to re-wash a cold tap. But as usual, before we get into this video, please could you take some time to subscribe, because it helps my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because you want YouTube to tell you when we're uploading videos. Still, hopefully you've not forgot it's Mondays and Wednesdays. Anyway, that's enough waffling, so let's get on with it and find out exactly how to re-wash a cold tap. Now, this is the cold tap we're going to be changing the washer on. So you can see the tap is live. So, first thing we need are the tools. We're going to be needing a towel. Now, if you have got a plug, we could plug that into the plug hole and it would stop anything dropping in there. If the sink or the wash basin, whatever they're made of, we could damage it, so we need a towel to go into the bottom. Okay, the tools we're going to need: adjustable spanner, water pump pliers, flat screwdriver and Phillips screwdriver. Now the first thing we need to do is turn the water off to this tap, which is a service valve underneath this sink. So let's turn that off first. So if I open the tap now, it should stop running, which it has. Well, we just got a little drip, so we just got a bit of excess water coming out of there now. Now there are other ways of turning your water off to the tap besides one of these service valves. You could have under your kitchen sink, or could be really anywhere in your house, you could have one of these, which is basically what we call a stop tap. And again, we can turn the water off by turning it clockwise when we're looking from the top. So that should turn off your cold water to all of your house, not just to the tap. So the service valve we just turned off is only turning the water off to the tap, whereas this one would turn the water off to all of the house. So this is the pillar tap, and this has a washer in there, which we're going to have a look at. So first thing I need to do is get the towel, and I need to put that into the bottom of the wash basin. So we've got an old towel down there. Now the first thing I need to do is take the head of the tap off. Now this could be acrylic, or in this case it's made of chromed metal. They're still pretty much the same. So we need to get the flat screwdriver and flick the top off like so, without damaging it because it's plastic. We then can use the Phillips screwdriver to take out the screw at the top. And now the head comes off, exposing the tap gear. So what we need to do now is, there is a hexagon nut here where we can get the adjustable spanner on there, and we can undo the head of the tap from the body. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey still is the same thing for taking this out. Now the other thing we've got to do is, we've got to be able to hold against the tap to be able to undo it. If we don't hold against the tap, then we could spin the tap and undo the connection down below, which is not good. So what we can do is adjust the spanner that way, and I can hold against and I can undo the tap body. Now if you're not strong enough to hold against on the tap without it moving, you could actually use your towel, place it over there, and you could get your grips, and you could hold your grips like that, and you could undo it that way. Or another way you could do it is, you could get a piece of pipe, plastic pipe, something like 32mm waste pipe, slide it over the spout of the tap, which will give you a bigger leverage point. So there's loads of ways of doing it, but you need to make sure you can get this off. So now we've taken this off, we'll have a closer look and see how it's put together and how we would change the washer in there. So this is what the tap head looks like. So first thing, if we wanted to remove the washer, the black thing is the washer, we just need to first undo this Phillips screw. So get the screwdriver in the screw and undo it. And then the washer can be easily removed. So that's the first part. Now you can see the washer's quite good on that side and is a bit worn on that side. So really what we could do is we could flick the washer over and put that screw back in, and we've got a new washer ready to go without even paying for one. Make sure that's tight, as tight as it'll go. And there you can see now we've got a perfectly unmarked washer. So this is where the tap head goes on, which is attached to the spindle, and if I screw it as if I'm screwing it down, because remember we opened it, you can see the jumper, because this part here is called the jumper, will come off. And there is another O-ring there. Now, if you've been tightening it down that tight that that washer has worn, sometimes what happens is that O-ring gets exposed and you can't screw it back up. So, like that. So you can just put a little bit of silicone grease on that O-ring and then it should screw all the way back up. Also on the end here we've got a circlip, and if we can flick that circlip off, the whole spindle will now come apart and you can see there is another O-ring there. So if any of these O-rings, so if you've got water leaking through there, that could mean that O-ring's damaged and you can replace and buy these O-ring kits. And you can see now how it spins around. So we can now put that back in, get it lined up so it pushes back through, and then we can put the split clip or the circlip back in position, and the tap is now ready and fully working to go back in. Now, very important, before we put the headgear back into the tap body, what we need to do is take our little pinky and we need to put it inside the tap and feel around the seat. So there is a brass seat in there which is very smooth and flat, so the washer can sit flat onto the seat and make it waterproof. So you just put your finger in, and if you feel any scratches or any breaks, then it's going to be replacing the tap, or you can buy a tap reseating tool. Okay, so if you put this back in, you've changed the washer, you put it back in, everything's tickety-boo, but it starts to drip again, then there's every chance you could have a damaged seat. So it might just be not the washer, it could be the seat of the tap. So assembling it is just in reverse order. And again we need to hold against while we tighten up. And then put the head back on, put the screw back in. Go and get the Phillips screwdriver from over there. Screw the screw back in. Okay, put the top back on. Now, I'm just going to leave it open, and I'm going to open the service valve back underneath. Slowly. And what that will do is, if there's any debris left in the tap, it will remove that debris. We can now turn the tap off, and we only need to turn the tap, like I say, till it stops running. We don't need to go anymore because that will damage the washer again. So that is replacing and checking the washer in a cold water tap. And that is the end of this video on how to re-washer a cold tap. So if you've liked this video, why don't you give me that thumbs up or leave a constructive comment down below. If you've not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe because it helps me. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because you do what YouTube tell you, don't you, that we release videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. Anyway, all I've got left to say now is thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Cheers.